Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth here with Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 17 of the Riptide Radio Next Gen Series here at the Michigan International Speedway. A fun fact about here, Riptide Radio has been here. This will now be their 5th time here visiting this racetrack, so all 4 previous seasons they have came to MIS, and all 4 times have been new winners. Of current drivers, it is the 6 of Johnny Barker as well as the 21 of Rob Lowe, both picking up a win at some point in their career here. No one has yet to be a repeat winner here at MIS, even though this will now be the 5th time these guys will visit here in season number 5. Will we get it tonight? We'll have to take a little wait here before we can have the checkered flag fall, but when that comes, we'll have to keep an eye for one of those two, of course. Points battle and tightening up after last week. That is because both last week's winner, Christian Delgado, in the 31 machine, picked up the win. Johnny Barker in second. Then it is our points leader, Jeff Pogo, in third. Still about, a 40-50 point swing from our points leader back, but all it takes is one bad week, folks, and everything could get turned on its head. It's week 17 of 21, so closing on in here as practice wraps on up right now. It's the 21 machine of Rob Lowe with the quick time here in practice, a 39.22. We'll see if he can back that up here in qualifying. Of course, just like always the way it has been here, qualifying is going to look like similar stuff. If you've been here tuning on in, you know what to expect, but if not, real quick, going to take 2 time laps. Best of your 2 time lap will determine tonight's starting order of the field. From that, then we have 100 laps to settle things out here tonight. One of the first cars to the racetrack here, Johnny Barker, leads this season in pole positions. We'll see if the 6 car can do it again here tonight. Coming into tonight, the track record here with the 802 Riptide Radio guys is a 38.90. So about 0.3 of a second faster than what we've seen in practice. So these guys will have to be really pushing it to get a new track record. track record's actually held by the one car of Brandon Guerin. So we'll see if we get a new track record. I don't think so. I don't think the weather conditions quite where they need to be for a track record here at MIS, but anything could happen. Someone could put together a magical lap and maybe walk away with it here. But here down the backstretch for his first time lap, we're looking at the Valvoline number 6, Johnny Barker. Barker's going to kiss the wall there going into turn number 3. It's going to be close to see if this even allows his lap time here. As we see Barker off of turn number 4, he will come to the stripe here, and I'll keep an eye on the timing and scoring, but it's going to be really close to see if he does take a lap. Yes, he does. A 39.52 for the number 6 machine. So Barker going to try and find some more speed right now. Quick time, a 39.35. That by the 21 machine of Rob Lowe. Of course, like I mentioned before, Lowe quickest in practice. So far, backing that up as Larson slots into P number 2. Nick Larson in the number 2 in P2. Johnny Barker here for the final time through 3 and 4. We'll see if he can find some more speed here on lap number 2. It does look a little bit better for the 6 machine. Barker will hit the stripe, and it looks like, yes, he will jump up to P number 2. But now Christian Delgado jumps up to quick time. Rob Lowe will quickly knock him on back. So Delgado already has 1 lap here in the books. Matthew Taylor now to a quick time with a 39.24. Man, times are coming in, and at the top, they are right on top of each other for first and second. Delgado, one of the best laps for the first lap, a 39.28. Can he hit a little bit quicker here on lap number 2? We'll find out here as the 31 machine to the stripe. Christian Delgado will... It looks like will not improve. I think another 39.28 perfectly. So Delgado will stay P number 3 here at the moment. Looks like a few more cars left to take a time. 22 cars here at the racetrack here tonight. Right now, Matthew Taylor looking to walk away with his first Leaf Guard pole position. We'll take a look now at the one of Brandon Guerin, the track record holder here at MIS. Guerin starts his first time lap and kind of switching things on up with the paint scheme here. A little bit lighter colors than we're used to seeing, but always a great looking car. Brandon Guerin with the BG wraps. Guerin down the backstretch for the first time lap. Right now still top 3 staying the same. Dan Dill has made it up to P number 4, so Dill will start inside the top 5. I'm sure he's looking for a rebound after last week. Probably wasn't happy with the result there, and so far that's a way to start it. Brandon Guerin, lap number 1, goes P number 11 with a 39.44. I believe Guerin last car to take a lap here, so we will keep an eye on this number 1 machine as he heads down the backstretch for the final time here in qualifying. Brandon Guerin will head down through turns 3 and 4 here. Put his left sides just over that seam. And here tonight, I'll mention it more during the race, but those seams can really get a car loose. So drivers can kind of play where they want to position those cars. And I'll be sure to talk about that throughout the races. Guerin crosses the stripe here on lap number 2. Looks like does not improve. So Brandon Guerin will stay P number 11 here. But a big shout out to this guy right here, Matthew Taylor, in the W number 8 machine. Going to be walking away here from MIS with that Leaf Guard Pole Award. So even before we get the green flag here, Matthew Taylor walking away with a little bit of money and some bragging rights. So big shout out to Matthew Taylor for your first pole position here of the season. So it looks like cars are already heading to the grid here. So let's head down to the grid and go through tonight's starting order. folks, 100 laps the distance. Here we go. Drivers are getting ready to rock and roll. Here is tonight's starting order for the Motor City 200 here at MIS. Matthew Taylor in the number 8 machine, walking away with his first leaf guard pole of the season, will lead the field to the green flag. 'Tis outside the 21 machine. That is Rob Lowell here leading the outside front row. Then in P number 3 here, I believe tied for second in points, if I'm not mistaken, it is last week's winner, the 31 machine of Christian Delgado. 2 Delgados outside here, an awesome qualifying effort here from the 81 team. Rolling off in 4th, it is Dan Dill. Then to round out the top 5 here for the starting grid, it will be the 2 car. That is Nick Larson. Then we had to P number 6 here. Glad to see this guy on back. Always love to see the 7 machine out on the racetrack. Eric Holly will roll off 6 here tonight. Like I mentioned before, glad to see you back here, my man. And then we had to P number 7 inside row number 4. That is the Out of the Woods Craft 62 machine of Frank Zingen. Then we had last week's runner-up finisher, I believe, second in points in the title hunt. It is the 6 car of Johnny Barker. Then in P number 9 will be the 46. That is Eli Raposa. And then to round out the top 10 here tonight, our points leader, the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Rolling off P number 11 will be the 1 car. That is Brandon Guerin. Starting 12th is John Buell in the 47 machine. 13th will be the 90. That is Stephen Holmes. Starting in 14th is Cody Meadows in the 3. Chris Taylor in the 69 will roll off 15th. 16th going to Dylan Jacobs in the 88. Reba Cain, my man out here in the number 30, rolling off P number 17. Jeff Barefoot, glad to see him on back with the Riptide Radio. Number 9, he will roll off 18th. 19th is Dustin Coggin in the 42 machine. 20th is the 13 of Jason Wiley. Cody Brewer in the 12 machine will roll off 21st. And Justin Branaham in the 58 machine will start shotgun on the field here tonight. He will start 22nd. So here we go, folks. Cars are ready to rock and roll. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car. So that means one thing and one thing only. Are we ready for some racing? 100 laps of action-packed racing here in the next-gen cars. Matthew Taylor, Rob Lowell on the front row. Matthew Taylor on the loud pedal here. Pretty even start for the front row, but we are green flag racing as the field will dive down into turn number 1, 2 by 2. Taylor gonna get away just a little bit in the number 8. Looks like Delgado will also get clear in the 31 machine. Those two can drift all the way up to the wall. Here comes Rob Lowell with a little bit of tow. He has his teammate of Nick Larson to his outside. Excuse me, inside here. As Delgado gonna look to the inside of Matthew Taylor for the race lead. Delgado here wants to lead some laps, at least lead 1 here. Get a bonus point, would love some more points. As much as he can take here, as after tonight, it is only going to be 3 more races. So first lap lead going to go to the number 8 machine of Matthew Taylor. Taylor looked really good last week, had top 5 speed, just couldn't quite get the long run there in the number 8. So I'm really excited to see what Matthew Taylor can do here tonight. As side-by-side battle for the race lead, Delgado down low. Taylor up top. Delgado, man, will drive it in there deep, somehow make that thing stick. And here off of turn number 4 for lap number 2 completion, it's going to go to the 31 of Christian Delgado. So further up back through the field here, a little bit of contact there. I believe that was the 3 machine of Cody Meadows and the 47 of John Buell, I think, making a little bit of contact there in the front stretch. It's kind of almost a triable, let's say, the front stretch, but not really because it's curved the whole way, so it can be very easy to kind of guesstimate wrong where those cars are on track, kind of relative to you, especially if you're running really close to someone trying to get that side draft, which you have to do here tonight, because we see speeds of almost 200 miles an hour when these cars get to corner entry. So it is all about aero. As much as people hate that kind of racing and don't want it that way here on iRacing, this is definitely the track for that here. As right in front here, Frank Zingen, Eric Holly side by side. This is a battle for the 7th position out on track. Rob Lowell now under pressure right in front. You can see there Dan Dilt is inside. Eric Holly gonna get a monster run there from the apex drive, clear by a long shot of the 62 machine. Looks like Zingen will be able to block the 97 if he wants by the time they get to turn number 1 here. Yeah, it looks like Rob Lowell and Johnny Barker under pretty heavy fire from the 81 machine of Dan Dill. Top 5 starting to drive on away just a little bit out in front here tonight. As, man, almost contact there right at the apex. Dill will get a piece of the wall there. As, yeah, that was super, super close there at the apex between the 21 and the 81. And it looks like the 81 might have lost those front tires. Not sure if there was net code or not. We'll have to wait and see if we hear anything, but 81 definitely has some right side damage, and that's going to make his race a little bit longer from here on out. Dill will go battling for 4th there, all the way back to P number 8 here very quickly. 3 wide race in action here off of turn number 4, as Cody Brewer there with a impressive move on the top side in this body armor number 12. He makes it somehow stick, and Brewer up into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. He is a man on a mission here. Cody Brewer is starting to figure something out. The question is he going to burn up his tires too much? Because last couple laps, this 12 machine has been the fastest car out on track. The question is, can he keep this pace, especially if it goes a long run? And we see drivers trying to make it to almost lap 50 on a single set of 50 laps, I should say, on a single set of tires. Looks like 2 cars definitely playing the long game here. The 21 and the 6 now under fire from the 97 and the 7 here. So Rob Lowe, Johnny Barker, both in cruise control here, trying to save some tires, about half a second off of most of the field pace here, trying to take care of their stuff. Where it's now Jeff Pogo up into 4th. Eric Holly going to be up to 5th here pretty quickly. And now here comes that Cody Brewer, Dan Dill back into the battle here, as 3 wide here on the front stretch once again. Further on back here, 3 wide race in action just for a split second here, as it looks like another car on the mission. Dylan Jacobs here starting to get on the move in that 88 machine. So Jacobs starting to find some speed here as this run goes on. But up in front though, Christian Delgado still leading the way in the 31 machine. Matthew Taylor in 2nd. Now Jeff Pogo up into P number 3 here. Nick Larson in 4th. Eric Holly in 5th. That rounds out your top 5 here on lap 10. Matthew Taylor here under fire from the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Pogo last couple of times, I should say last couple laps by, man, has been the best car on track by about 0.2 of a second here. So Pogo will be able to drive around the A machine, almost get a piece of the wall there off of turn number 2. So down the front stretch there, though, Matthew Taylor going to have a run, going to be able to get by Jeff Pogo there. And we kind of saw it a little bit. I only saw, I don't know if you guys did, Pogo got very close to the wall there on turn 4 exit and had to lift. And I think that was enough of a run here for Taylor to get on by him. And just like anywhere there's a draft here, we're going to ride on board with Jeff Pogo just to see the speeds that you can carry here. But here with that draft, it also becomes a detriment here in the corners because then it's dirty air. You're not getting the same downforce on those front tires that you would like. So you got to be able to follow the car in front of you down the straightaway and then try and pull on out from line, whether guesstimating right to go down low or up top, then the car in front of you here. As we see Pogo right in the way, kind of waits for Taylor to drift on up, then finds some open lane, and here comes Jeff Pogo, as well as Matthew Taylor, now hounding Christian Delgado as well. It's a great 3-car battle, but you can see there, Jeff Pogo last time by 39.73, only 15 laps into this race, not even, and already a half a second of tire fall off. As Pogo will go to the inside here of Matthew Taylor. We saw Taylor get up just a little bit here, battle for second, as further on back, still side-by-side racing all through the field here tonight. I told you guys, folks, that it was going to be action-packed racing, and that is exactly the case. Definitely multi-groove racing here tonight, and it's going to be a lot of comers and goers, both based on how your car's feeling, what kind of line you feel comfortable with, and how those tires are underneath the race car. Jeff Pogo now sniffing the left rear quarter panel of Christian Delgado. This will be a battle for the race lead here. If Pogo can lead a lap, that will take away the advantage that Delgado had for a bonus point for leading the lap. But he will do exactly that here to start lap 15. It is going to be a new race leader, Jeff Pogo, leading the field here tonight. So we'll have to see if anything can shake on out from there. Man, oh man, Matthew Taylor almost into the back of Delgado. Delgado gonna have another run here on Jeff Pogo. Both these guys have to be careful. Delgado has to race him hard, but he has a lot more to lose if an incident happens. They wreck their race cars. Delgado's the one that's in the point deficit, so he's the one that cannot afford to make any sort of mistake here at this point in the season. Delgado also hoping for a little bit of luck in that 31 machine. Last week we saw Sabrina Carpenter on the car. That is the same thing here tonight for that 31 machine. Different colors, different paint scheme, but still the same theme here. Sabrina Carpenter on that race car. He's hoping that will give him some more good luck like we saw 1 week ago at Homestead. So Pogo, I bet's loving what he's seeing in his rear view mirror. Cars side by side out behind him here as we ride on board with our race leader, looking back at this battle for second. Man, Delgado's going to enter high. That forces Taylor to do the same here. Try and watch it on down, but Taylor's going to get the draft here down the backstretch and will clear Delgado's one car. 2 cars go around here on the backstretch. It looks like that is, Dustin Coggins is involved here. And I believe, Justin Branham, the other car involved here as well. So here on lap 17, man, racing great around this racetrack. And we already get our first caution of the evening here with, I believe, 2 cars getting together here off of turn number 2. And it looks like here 58-42 down on the inside lanes. Oh, Dan Dill will pop the wall there, come across the racetrack, and just snag Justin Branham there. And then Branham will get turned, and Dustin Coggins, kind of an innocent bystander there, having nowhere to go, and that 58 just going around there. As we take a look at it one more time, you can see the 81 Bills machine of Dan Dill into the wall, comes down the racetrack right on the nose of Justin Brannahan. He pretty much had no time to react, and definitely that is the case for the 42 of Dustin Coggin, just having a car sideways right on your nose, absolutely nowhere to go, and add a little insult to injury. Looks like the 42 machine will spin here one more time for good measure. So that will mean one thing here, folks. It's going to be a busy pit road, as Jeff Pogo is going to lead the whole field down pit road here in this series. 3 sets of tires over the wall here at all races. So everyone's going to say, yeah, here about lap 20, it's going to be a no-brainer here. So Jeff Pogo is going to be the first car to pit road. Matthew Taylor going to be the one all the way down. Looks like Eric Holly misses his pit stall. Looks like does not come in. Same with the 81 machine of Dan Dill. So neither of those guys may be missing their box. Something going on. But man, it was a close race between Eli Raposa, Jeff Pogo. Then it's Christian Delgado, Nick Larson. Yeah, that is it. Looks like a long stop there for the 8 of Matthew Taylor. He drops all the way back to about 15th position. But yeah, it looks like Eli Raposa rolling the dice here a little bit. Gonna win the race off of pit road, but doing it with a 2-tire pit stop. So we'll have to see how this works on out. That car gonna be a little bit looser, so we'll see if that comes out for a benefit for the 46, but definitely not gonna have the greatest long run pace as compared to everyone else. But all that matters is if there is even a long run here. So this time by, we see the 81 of Dan Dill here dive down pit road. Probably going to get some of those damage repaired. Same with the 58 of Justin Brannahan, having an extended stop there. Going to get that car repaired and try and get it back up to 100%. As the lights go out around the MIS Speedway here, and it is choose time. It looks like Eric Holly does not come down pit road, so he's going to be the only car on old tires. Looks like he's going to select the inside lane to restart in. Eli Raposa will restart to his outside in the 46, but Raposa only has 2 new tires, 2 new right side tires on that 46 machine. Then in row number 2, 4 fresh tires for both cars, that being the 97 and the 31 here. As I'm going to go real quick, start a commercial and come right on back here. Going to try and make sure my camera's not doing anything crazy there off of turn number 2. So we'll be right back here for the restart. Alrighty, folks, we come back here to the restart. It is Holly Raposa on the front row. Here we go. How good of a restart can Eric Holly get? It looks like pretty good, as he will be by himself here by the time the field gets down to turn number 1. Raposa a little bit slower through the gearbox here. Delgado will go to the inside. Jeff Pogo already clear here, as now Delgado goes all the way down to that inside lane. He's got to be careful down there. It is very loose there, as you don't see a lot of cars go all the way down to that inside yellow line, and that's because you have so much wheel in it, and it's actually a smidge less banked than the rest of the track, that it can step out from underneath you there in a hurry. And if that happens, man, oh man, is it nearly impossible to save a race car here at these speeds. Looking through the field here, Eric Holly pacing the field there on those old tires. Very impressive But as we look through the rest of the field here, a lot of 2x2 racing action. As Christian Delgado now to the inside here. Trying to get around the 7 of Holly. Holly will get a little bit tight at the apex. That will hold up Jeff Pogo. That will allow now Johnny Barker to maybe get on through. And how about this car here? The black number 3, Cody Meadows. He is racing, I believe, for the first time this season in the number 3. And he is fighting for a top 5 finish here. As, oh man, almost him and Pogo make contact there in turns 1 and 2. Meadows can't quite slam the door shut there on Jeff Pogo. So it'll be a side-by-side battle still for that 3rd position here. As now Eric Holly going to get swallowed up by the rest of the field. Pogo able to get clear here, but it's going to be 3 wide here off of turn number 4. It gets tight. Eric Holly goes around. Cody Brewer involved as well. And man, oh man, we knew that might have been coming there. We saw how tight it got there off of turn number 4. And it looks like Eric Holly gets a piece of the wall. That will slow up the car. And I believe get turned by the 69 machine of Chris Taylor. We'll take a look here on the turn 3 racing replay and see exactly what happened here off of turn number 4. So you can see there Eric Holly into the wall, yanks the car off the wall, and actually gets into the side of Nick Larson. They get kind of stuck together. That sends the 7 back up the track. And then, yeah, Chris Taylor just having no time to react. We'll get into the back of the 7, turn him on around, and then right in the path of the 12 with Cody Brewer. So this one, more than just a 2-car incident, but still no big ones yet out here tonight. So 2nd caution, most cars last pitted on lap 20 or so. So I have a feeling most of them going to stay on out unless they get just fuel, as Christian Delgado fakes out the field there. Thinks about coming on down, does not. First car to actually commit down to pit road. Stephen Holmes, Eli Raposa down, Dustin Coggin. It looks like Cody Brewer, Justin Branham, Dan Dill, and Eric Holly. So quite a bit of drivers involved in the 2nd yellow down on pit road. So a quarter of the way here, just about through tonight's race. And so far we've seen four different leaders in the race so far and 2 cautions. So we haven't seen the action step on down at all. It's been short runs for the most part. So we'll have to see how this next quarter and then half goes. But if it's anything like this, folks, it's going to be an action-packed, eventful race here. But before we go back green here, once again, going to go to a quick commercial break since we didn't get the full one last time. We'll be right back here on the other side after a quick commercial break. So here we are back at the MIS Speedway here. And it looks like Christian Delgado just choosing here at the stripe. Going to choose the high side on the restart here. So I'll put Johnny Barker in that 6 car to his inside. Technically restarting P number 2, but we'll be on the inside. So it's going to be Delgado Barker on the front row here. And that was our 1-2 finisher. Actually, our top 3 right now as they run are the same exact finishing order as last week. So it is definitely going to be pretty wild here because Both those 31 and that 6 know who they got to race, and he sits right there in that third position. So here we go. Front row is going to be Delgado and Barker. We wait for the iRacing pace car here to dive down pit road. It will do that here. So now the 31 has to wait till he gets inside that restart zone. And it will be coming up right here. And Delgado on the loud pedal gets a good start. But man, Cody Meadows was on it in that number 3 car. Looks like he will get clear of Pogo and even Barker when they get to turn number 1. That he will. So now it'll be Delgado, Meadows, Barker, Pogo, and Matthew Taylor has clawed his way after a bad first pit stop here tonight in the 8. He finds himself back in the top 5. So back under full sawing here, and I got to give a shout out to this car right here as well. The 13 machine of Jason Wiley. He has been slowly picking off cars, working his way through this field, and Jason Wiley, currently running in the 6th position, is up 14 positions from where he started here tonight. My man has been working it and doing it steadily, nice and quietly. Jason Wiley might have something for this field before tonight is over. Cars hauling on by. We definitely have to do a crank it up, a turn 3 turn it up here tonight, because man, these cars just sound so good at MIS. I've actually gotten to go a few times here. These next gens, I don't know if you guys been able to see these cars in real life, but they are so much louder than the, let's say, previous generation cars. And I've gotten to go to MIS, go right up to the catch fence there off of turn number 4, and have the field do a flyby, and man, they are hauling some booty around here, I tell you what. Christian Delgado currently still leading the way. He has not too much pressure, about a quarter of a second back to Cody Meadows, who has a mirror full of Johnny Barker. Here comes now Matthew Taylor on the move to the inside of the 6. Oh man, here we go. Barker and Taylor almost split the number 3 car as they will drag race here down the backstretch. Man, oh man, some close racing here as Johnny Barker with a power move in 1 and 2, able to get up to the outside of the number 3. Going to try and pinch him on down here, riding on board with Johnny Barker, looking on the left rear kind of quarter panel. Just seeing how close these cars are getting, the bump drafting going on, and this is what you got to expect here in the next gen cars here at MIS. With the good push Barker got from Taylor down the front stretch, that will actually clear the 6 car. So Johnny Barker up into 2nd. Looks like Matthew Taylor gonna get 3rd. Here comes now Jeff Pogo. Here comes Johnny Barker to the lead. Wow. Johnny Barker is on a mission here, probably with some help from the number 8 car, Matthew Taylor, but man, what a move. As, oh man, Chris Taylor gonna get the wall there off at turn number 4 as he tried to look to the outside of Jeff Pogo and just ran out of space by the time that wall came quickly on up. Man, Barker and Taylor lock bumpers all the way till the entry of corner, and I think I saw Johnny Barker get a little bit loose there as I think Taylor pushed him all the way till he lifted, and that is a risky game to play here at MIS. Like I said, speeds of 180 plus by the time they get to corner entry. As, oh man, we got a second caution of the night and not sure where it is at. We're going to try and take a look here on the turn 3 racing replay. Try and find out what brought out this third caution of the evening. Oh, it looks like maybe the 69 machine of Chris Taylor having some damage. That looks like a little bit on the right side, but is that what brought it out? I think it may have been here. So we take a look here going into turn number 3. And it looks like Chris Taylor side by side with our points leader, Jeff Pogo. And it looks like those two get together. Maybe some side draft gone wrong, or those guys definitely didn't predict exactly where they're going to be. But I think Chris Taylor kind of does a full 360, gets that car righted in the right direction and keeps it rolling. Actually doesn't fall outside of the top 10 here. So an impressive recovery by Chris Taylor. That car spun around, did a quick 360, and he kept it going. So not quite a full save, a traditional save, let's say, in the sense, but a heck of a save there to keep that car in one piece. Lap 33 of 100, a third to go, and look at this. Jeff Pogo going to be the only car down on pit road. So Pogo's going to come in. Probably, if I had to guess, he's going to the back anyways. Might as well fill it up with fuel and save that set of tires. At least don't get yourself too far off the cycle. And that's exactly what the 97 machine does. So Jeff Pogo from 5th down on pit road for fuel only. Only other cars on pit road, Eric Holly and Stephen Holmes. Out in front, though, Johnny Barker, new race leader. Barker will pick up at least a point for a lap lead. So it has been Johnny Barker, Christian Delgado, and Jeff Pogo all leading laps at some point here today. So that bonus point of a lap lead going to be spread evenly across those three here. So all it's going to come down to is most laps led, as well as where these three drivers finish for looking at the grand scheme of thing of the points. Of course, besides that, some great runs by some drivers. You know, Matthew Taylor currently running in second, first pole of the season. He has been on fire here today, looking to continue that. Jason Wiley started deep in the field in this 13 machine, has worked his way all the way up into the top 5. He is running fourth. And then Cody Meadows, I believe first race ever with this group, first time I'm ever seen of him. He sits in the top 5 in 5th. So some big time storylines going on there. As here we go at the stripe, Johnny Barker gonna elect the high side on the restart. So I'll put Matthew Taylor inside of the front row in second. Delgado in third. Like I said, Wiley fourth. Cody Meadows rounding out the top 5. Frank Zingen will restart 6th. Dylan Jacobs in that 88 machine, a great run for him so far. He'll restart 7th. 8th going to Chris Taylor in the 69. We saw him racing in the top 5 there till that spin. Dustin Coggin 9th. And then Cody Brewer rounding out the top 10 here. So some great names. Glad to see some good drives from some of those guys inside of the top 10 so far here tonight, but still a long way to go. The furthest car up with the newest tires, let's say, is, I believe, the 81 machine of Dan Dill. Had a pit time for enough Ford tires, so we'll have to see if Dill is on brand new tires, or at least coming in to get that damage repaired, but we will have to see. But front row going to be Barker, Taylor, Johnny Barker in the 6th, in control of the 3rd restart of the night. iRacing pace car here makes the hard left-hand turn down pit road, and then we do the long way here till the restart zone. But here we go. Barker on the loud pedal, gonna get shot out of the cannon. Johnny Barker is gone by the time they get to turn number 1. And here we go, side by side for 3rd as they dive down into turn numbers 1 and 2. I say, you know what, folks, since they're all bunched up, let's do a little turn 3, turn it up here. So here, when we get the next lap here, we're going to let the cars do the talking. and do a little turn 3, turn it up. As here we go, Jason Wiley gonna go for the race lead here through 3 and 4. He's gonna take a look, but not quite have the momentum. But here we go, turn 3, turn it up. Man, oh man, big time drama here tonight. As we're in that turn 3, turn it up, we get our 4th caution of the night. But here this one involves a front runner in the points, Christian Delgado, around on the backstretch. Let's take a look, see what happened to the 31 machine, but could be some, as they once said, big time playoff implications. As here off of turn number 2 here, already sideways is the 31 machine, so we're going to try and back it up just a little bit more. So Delgado in the middle of 3 wide has Matthew Taylor to his outside, Jason Wiley down low, and Delgado trying to give Taylor the room. It looks like Wiley maybe got arrow tight or lost the front end, but definitely got into the quarter panel of Christian Delgado, and that sends the 31 machine here sliding across the track. It looks like we'll get clipped there by the 12 of Cody Brewer, so that 31 machine will have some damage here, as it looks like he gets done sliding. But it looks like the 2 machine of Nick Larson later into the wreck does get spun around here, so it looks like Larson gonna have some damage. Yeah, as Larson made pretty heavy contact with that inside wall there. Wow, what happened to Nick Larson? We might have to go back, watch one more time here. As let's take a look here, full speed. You see Delgado there spinning. Larson tries to go out of the way, and oh, right across the path of Rob Lowell. A little teammate on teammate action, but no way could the 21 machine react that quick, as Larson was trying to watch out where he was going, didn't have time to look in the mirror, and that involves 2 more cars here tonight, as you see them both sitting down on pit road. So that one, a little bit more strategy out here tonight. It looks like Jeff Pogo actually didn't come down on pit road. It looks like John Buell came on down. Eric Holly did as well. I think that's about it for the drivers that pitted there. Excuse me, it was Matthew Taylor, Johnny Barker, and Jeff Barefoot. Matthew Taylor only taking 2 tires. Barker gonna take 4. Same with 4 for Jeff Barefoot. And man, if you're Matthew Taylor, I think if you pit here on lap 38, use up that second of 3 sets, you have to at least take the 4 tires. Unless, I'm trying to think if Matthew Taylor took 2 before, maybe taking the other 2, but if he has taken 4 from before, I think you have to take 4 at that point. You know you're going to start in the back. You don't see too many other cars down on pit road with you, so you know you're going to have to drive through the field, use up those tires. So we'll have to see how that strategy plays on out for the number 8. But here up front, Cody Meadows, our new race leader, going to lead his first ever laps, to my knowledge, here with the 802 Next Gen Riptide Radio Series. To his outside now, Frank Zingen has been quietly hanging around the top 10 here, now up on the front row for the 4th restart of the night. Here, once we go green flag racing, it will be 60 laps to go, so slowly getting closer and closer to that halfway mark here tonight. Don't forget, folks, way over the halfway point in the schedule. After tonight, we will have, I believe, just 4 races left. Next week, they'll go to Worldwide Technology or Gateway for April 13th. Then April 20th, these guys head to Richmond. It's throwback night. Special paint schemes throughout the field. Every single car will have a throwback to a previous season of the real life NASCAR stuff. You won't want to miss that. That is super cool. April 27th, the penultimate race at Las Vegas. Then it is May 4th, the season finale, and we will crown our season 5 champion. As here we go to the front here, Meadows zinging. Meadows on the loud pedal. He gets away with a great start in that Dale Earnhardt number 3 machine, and Meadows gonna have the whole track to himself here in turns 1 and 2. Jason Wiley gonna try and get clear of Zingen here. Has a shorter distance through the corner, able to do so there. But here comes Zingen with the momentum here off turn number 2. So we will have to see here, looking further on back, cars that pitted here. Delgado, of course, longest pit stop of those guys. That car looked actually halfway decent, so I think did not use his fast repair there. But it looks like that car repaired pretty nicely as we go 3 wide for dead last here tonight. That just shows you just the mindset these drivers have here tonight. It's going to be hard, clean racing no matter what position you are out on the racetrack. And that's what we're seeing here. As man, Delgado a little twitchy as he goes to the outside of the 30 machine, trying to follow Rob Lowe through this field here. Lowe will cut it down low, take that nose off of the 31 machine. Yeah, it seems like Matthew Taylor hit the back of the field, kind of struggling a little bit, maybe on pace, maybe trying to save his stuff a little bit, but Johnny Barker trying to dive into the field here tonight. Like I said, I think it was 2 restarts ago, we saw the top 3 in points, first, second, third. Now we see him back in 11th, 12th, and 17th. So it just goes to show how quickly things can flip here, and that no one is truly safe until everything is said and done, until that fat lady sings here. As Meadows continues to lead the way here, over now Jason Wiley into second, Frank Zingen in third, Chris Taylor up into 4th here. How about this, folks? And then Dustin Coggin a few weeks ago at Bristol had his career run. So far, trying to back that up here with another top 5 finish here at MIS. Coggin gonna get some car right on the left rear quarter panel. That's John Buell. Buell, we've seen continue to pick up pace throughout this season. You know, he came in mid-season, probably a little bit not where he wanted to be, but has since gotten better and better each week. And right now, John Buell racing for a top 5 running spot. As this is the first side-by-side battle on the speedway, but don't look too far behind these 2 cars, as here comes the 97, the 6, the 21 machine. They are picking their way through the field here tonight. Out in front, battle for the race lead here. Jason Wiley has the advantage with the shorter distance, but Cody Meadows gonna have the momentum here at the stripe. But Jason Wiley fighting for the race lead here, and a lap led before it's all said and done. Jason Wiley, whoa, big time moment there off of turn number 2. Had to really save that race car, and somehow he saves that race car. I mean, man, that could have been very detrimental, especially right in front of the field like he was, but a heck of a save by Jason Wiley. And that's how difficult that inside lane is here tonight, folks, is just that little bit of extra wheel as this banking kind of goes away, and these next-gen cars have 0 to little side force. These things get sideways. You have to be instantaneous to try and save these race cars. If not, they're going right around on you. And it's tough because off of turn number 2, the car starts to get tight. So, you know, you as a driver have to start putting more and more wheel into the race car. But once you start doing that, that can create the rear tires to break traction sooner, let's say, especially depending on how you get on the throttle. So it's just like anywhere we go to, especially with, oh, contact there off of turn number 4. Rob Lowe, Jason Wiley make heavy contact there off of turn number 4. Rob Lowe goes through the grass, a little bit of a pass in the grass, but the wrong kind of passing, as the 21 machine loses about 5 spots there. As I was saying, you know, it's all about walking the tightrope with these cars, especially at a track that is so fast-paced here like MIS. As heck of a save by the 21 of Rob Lowell. He falls just outside the top 10, but could have been a lot worse, as here comes the man. He pitted on 38, about 20 lap newer tires for this guy. He's hoping it goes green to the end. Johnny Barker is up into second here, tracking down our race leader. Last time by, Barker ran a 39.50. Our leader ran a 39.9. So Barker almost a half a second quicker, but whoa, hang on to it there, driver. You're faster. Don't have to push the envelope, as Johnny Barker very sideways there off of turn number 2. If I'm Johnny Barker crew chief, I'm telling him, hey man, slow it on down, back it on down. No need to hustle to that lead. You got the better tires. You're going to take it anyways. Take your time with it here. But here to start lap 50, Johnny Barker going to lead at the stripe here. Cody Meadows in second. John Buell now up into P number 3. What a day it would be for this 47 machine. Especially, like I said, for the likes of Barker, Buell, Coggin, Rob Lowell. If this race goes to the end without a yellow, they might be sitting in the best positions, especially on tire and the fuel strategy. This time by at the stripe though for the number 6. He will see the cross flags halfway down, halfway home in the Motor City 200, race number 17 of the Riptide Radio Next Gen Cup Series. So John Buell up into P number 2. Frank Zingen able to follow the NOS number 47 machine. So Zingen in the 62 going to be able to head to P number 3. As I think Cody Meadows starting to lose that car just a little bit here. That 3 machine just has to stay in the draft here, not make any sort of big mistakes, not get into the wall if he can help it. Johnny Barker out in front has quickly walked away to a 1 second advantage over the rest of the field. Rob Lowe racing his way back through the field. He's another driver on those newer tires, I believe. He's able to get around Jason Wiley there. Made contact those two last time in a pass. This time a lot cleaner between the two of them. Now Lowell trying to get his way back up into a top 5 running spot. Looks like he'll do just that off of turn number 4 as he'll clear the 69 of Chris Taylor. Now here comes Jeff Pogo on the inside race lane. Pogo will try and do the same here in turns 1 and 2. Chris Taylor gonna go right on the door of the 97 machine. They will make contact there, and man, some big time movement throughout the field behind them, but somehow everyone still stays green here as Chris Taylor, like I said, in 1 and 2, right on the door of the 97 machine. This time by though, looks like Pogo will get on by. Right in front of them though, a great battle between 3 cars as Cody Meadow back into battling it up for that position as we go 3 wide here down in turns 1 and 2. Contact there between the 21 and the 3. That'll send the 3-car Meadows up the racetrack just a little bit. It looks like Zingen there doesn't quite have the run on the inside lane there off of turn number 2. They will head through 3 and 4 here. John Buell will give all the dirty air through the corner on the nose of the 21 machine. but that won't be enough. Rob Lowe able to drive on by the 3 machine, now sets his sights on the 47 here. Rob Lowe to the outside of John Buell here. This is the battle for second position. Looks like we'll be done right there. So Rob Lowe up into second. Buell falls to third. Cody Meadows fourth. Frank Zingen rounding out the top 5. Then in that front pack battle, Jeff Pogo has came on in there. Pogo running in 5th. Now make it 4th here as he gets around the 3 machine. As, oh man, what Barker and Lowell did not want to see there. As, oh, you hate to see it, the 31 machine of Christian Delgado involved in his second caution of the night here. First one not of his own doing. We'll see if that is the same case here as, oh man, it was 3, almost 4 wide racing gone bad there as Delgado will spin across the track and actually not make contact with everyone else. Wow, what a great job by the field to miss the 31 machine. But as you can see there, 4 wide racing there off of turn number 2. Taylor and Delgado get in contact. Brandon Guerin not realizing that right on the door of the 31 machine. Then Delgado will once again get hooked by another driver, and he does an awesome job dancing that car around and saving that race car, because we got to ride on board with the likes, you know, of the 31 machine of K, and you can see those 2 cars in front of him smoke in front and having to do a little bit of evasive maneuvers there to make sure they don't get involved. So here on lap 58, this is not what those guys that pitted on 38 wanted to see. Another 20 lap run on their tires. If you last pit on 18, you love to see it because you can come in, use that second set of tires. If I'm those guys, I think you got to come in just for fuel at this point, and then, you know, save that last set of tires for that maybe a final yellow, or if not, you got to hope to use them here and hope that we don't get any more caution flags throughout the rest of the night. As Johnny Barker leads the field down pit road here, looks like everyone but that Riptide Radio number 9 machine, Jeff Barefoot, stays on out. I love to see it. Jeff Barefoot going to stay on out. We'll have to see how that works out for the number 9, if he just stayed on out to lead a lap, or maybe a big braid move there. But I love to see it as Johnny Barker wins the race off of pit road. Then it's Cody Meadows, Rob Lowe, Jeff Pogo, and then it is Chris Taylor. So that would do it here for just about the top 5 here off of pit road. As it looks like 2 cars stayed on out, did not come down pit road. That being the 9 of Jeff Barefoot here and the 81 of Dan Dill. Nick Larson out on the racetrack, had some sort of issue, was disconnected for a little bit in the race, so that 2 machine finds himself multiple laps down. But we are into the second half of tonight's race. Going to be, once we go back green flag racing, about 40 laps to go here tonight. Looks like Jeff Barefoot will stay out for another lap, so I love the call here tonight from the number 9 camp. Jeff Barefoot's going to lead the field to green. And yeah, those guys that last pit on 38 did come down and took 4 tires. Everyone that came down there on 57 took 4 tires here tonight. So that means there might be some drivers with 40 laps to go having no more sets of tires here tonight. We saw that last week happen to the 42 machine of Dustin Coggin. He got caught out with the strategy, did not have a set for a late race restart. Let's see if that is the same case here tonight at MIS. Still, like I said, a lot of racing to go. Anything can happen here with 40 laps to go once he go back green. But it's going to be Jeff Barefoot on old tires, about 20 laps old. Johnny Barker led the field down to pit road. He will restart on the outside of Barefoot. It's going to be Barefoot, Barker, the double B front row here for restart number 5. Alrighty, here we go here, folks. The field doubled on up the iRacing pace car down to pit road. And now we wait for the 9, the Riptide Radio 9 machine of Barefoot. He gets on the loud pedal. A great restart for the teammates. That being the 6, the 9, and the 21 machine. Those 3 are checked on out in front. And they timed that there perfectly, folks. They will get out in front here. Barefoot's going to be probably swallowed up here pretty quickly by the fresh tires out there behind him. Elise got out front, led some laps, got some screen time here as the rest of the field going to try and race around him. And we will see how this shakes on out. Like I said, folks, going to be 40 laps to go here. Let's get up in the stands here at MIS and see these cars go whirling on by as they just get up to speed here. And you can see just how big this racetrack is. I mean, 2-mile racetrack here at MIS. So not quite as big as the Daytona, but you come here, you see just how far away these race cars are. And you're like, man, this place is way bigger than I thought it would be, and these cars are boogieing out here. Out in front, Johnny Barker leading over his teammate Rob Lowe. They are 1-2. Then it is Cody Meadows trying to hold off Jeff Pogo for 3rd. Meadows in 3rd, Pogo in 4th. And Chris Taylor back into the top 5. He finds himself 5th. Last time by, though, best laps for the 42 machine of Dustin Coggin. Same with the one of Brandon Guerin. Both of those guys find themselves in the top 10 here tonight. They're hoping to finish off this race a little bit stronger than how it began for them. One car here has had a lot of downs, but slowly making them on back here. The 31 machine of Delgado back into the top 10 here. He finds himself 10th with 2 cars side by side right in front of him. As wow, what a send by the 31 machine. You saw when Zingen kind of lifted and that car slowing up, Delgado kept his foot in it for at least a car length deeper. A big time power move by the 31 machine. That will put him up into 8th. And man, this man is on a mission, and that shows you right there, lap time 38.80. That puts him right around track record time for Delgado. Best car all race long for a lap time, done right there by the 31 machine. So this man is head down and trying to drive through the field as quickly as possible. My man is a man on a mission here in the Sabrina Carpenter number 31 machine. He is up into 8th here, but he can smell blood as there are side by side right in front of him, that being Coggin and Taylor. Looks like Cody Meadows here a little bit off the pace, and the 3 machine kind of stuck down on that inside lane. Doesn't have too much drafting help, so they are getting beat down these straightaways. That allows Delgado maybe to get 2 positions here in 1 lap. as Meadows has the shorter distance out here. Coggin, though, will give a little bit of dirty air down in the corner. It looks like Meadows will be able to just clear off the nose of Delgado. It looks like Meadows will go back up to the top side here. Man, oh man, some great racing here. Wow, that was close there through 1 and 2. Dustin Coggin right there on the door of Christian Meadows. It couldn't have been much closer than that there, folks. I think that caused the 42 just to lift a little bit. That allowed Meadows to get clear. Now Meadows goes on the charge of Chris Taylor. We'll get to the inside of him. As these guys continue to battle like this, it's allowing the top 3 to slowly kind of get on away, even though it's very, very hard to do that here just because how powerful the draft is here at MIS. So yeah, Stephen Holmes finds himself here 3 laps down, still out on the racetrack. Looks like the 2 machine of Nick Larson finds himself about 9 laps down. So those guys will need a lot of help before it's all said and done. So let's head above the grandstands here to the spotter stand and check out what these spotters are seeing as these cars are racing oh so close here as we look for the battle for that 3rd position. Meadows in the 3 down low, Chris Taylor in the 69 looking for his career best day here up on the top side. Taylor gonna have the run, and you can just see that momentum on the high side, especially with the draft he got from the 97 of Jeff Pogo. You can see how he can just drive around a car like they're almost standing still, and that just goes to show how powerful this aero race is here tonight at MIS. It's already 2/3 of the way down here tonight. We approach 30 laps to go. Johnny Barker out in front. Rob Lowe second. Jeff Pogo currently running in 3rd. Chris Taylor up in the 4th. Cody Meadows rounding out the top 5. Dustin Coggins in 6th. Frank Zingen in 7th. Brandon Guerin currently running in 8th. Christian Delgado has fallen just back to 9th. And then pole sitter Matthew Taylor rounding out the top 10 here on lap 70 of 100. And these guys, for about the whole top 10, you know, they're all in the same draft, you know. Anyone, even Matthew Taylor, these guys in front of him start burning off his stuff. He can easily go from this position in about 5 laps, could take the lead with some drivers in front of him, make a mistake. Where it gets difficult is Jason Wiley lost the draft of the cars in front back here in 11th. He has about a 1.5 gap to Matthew Taylor in 10th, so you know, it's Wiley, Raposa on their own island. Then it's Buell, Branham, Jacobs all in a battle. That's 13th, 14th, 15th. Eric Holly in 16th. Cody Brewer 17th. Dan Dill 18th. And Ariba Caton 19th. As here we go, battle for our 2nd position here. As Jeff Pogo trying to work the inside here of Rob Lowell. They'll make some contact there in turn number 3. Will there be more contact? Yes, there is. These guys already getting elbows out racing here, folks. And it's still just under 30 laps to go. Man, oh man. It's about to get wild here for these last couple races. Everyone's trying to race that aero war here tonight. Trying to get all the side draft they can get right, the perfect lane. If you're stuck on the bottom, try and get that guy on the high side as far up the track as possible so you can carry momentum. If you're the car on the outside, you're trying to do the opposite. Try and take away that momentum as much as you can from the cars on the inside. As that battle kind of cooled off there off of turn number 4 there. Looks like Rob Lowe gonna be able to keep that spot, keep that momentum. As you look a little bit further back here, Delgado and Taylor all over the back bumper of Frank Zingen. Looks like here off at turn number 2, going to try and split him 3 wide here. Looks like they will be able to do that. Maybe not, as once again, Delgado gets shot out from the middle. He will try and continue to stay to the inside of the 62 machine, as I think Zingen and Taylor continue to bounce off each other off of turn number 2. That's what kind of slowed down the 62, as we saw the 31 get shot way down the track. But once again, these guys, knowing when they get a run, they got to take it. So it's a high level of take and not a lot of give that we're seeing out here tonight. And another 3 wide racing incident kind of gone wrong. No yellow brought out, but these two definitely going to be slightly off the pace, and they're going to have to work together here to catch back up to the cars in front of them, and then also not let this top, I want to say now 4, get away, because they're starting to drive away from Chris Taylor. So top 4, like I just mentioned, starting to drive away. Last time by, they all ran about 39.9s to 40.1s, whereas Chris Taylor in that pack ran 40.4s to about 40.2, so already a 10th off here. As once again we see the battle for second. Jeff Pogo once again trying to work the inside of Rob Lowell. They'll head down into turn number 3 there. Man, very, very close. That 97 right on the quarter panel of the 21 machine. Pogo's going to try and make this front stretch as short as possible here if he can, but that 21 machine, man oh man, that Mustang has some power, because he's been able to keep the momentum rolling up on the high side. And you can see, folks, on the left side of your screen up top, we have made it into the countdown clock. It is already 25 laps to go. Next time at the stripe, it'll be down to 24. Once again, more contact through 3 and 4 between these two cars. We saw it about 5 laps ago, seeing it again here. These guys trying to use each other up, size each other up. Who's the first to give? Who's trying to give a little bit more? Who's trying to take a little bit more? As these guys racing really hard, but pretty respectfully, at least at the moment. And one guy that's loving what he's seeing behind him is Johnny Barker. He is able to get out in front, has broken the draft to these two cars, so he is looking better than where he started so far in this run. As we ride on board with Cody Meadows, looking at this battle here right in front of him. Has more contact there off the turn number 4. Man, oh man, these two have to be careful. As man, Cody Meadows now drives it in there super deep, goes to the outside of Rob Lowell. How does this work on out? Looks like we'll get to the outside at least of Jeff Pogo, but man, that could have been very, very sketchy. But yeah, don't forget Lowell, even though, you know, he's racing the 97, our points leader really hard, he sits only 4th in points. So Rob Lowell still has a lot to race for in that 21 machine. And especially late in these races, especially a track like this, you got to take everything that you can. As look at here, we saw Delgado there get sideways there off of turn number 4, 3 wide gone wrong. That time 3 wide gone a little bit better, as Delgado able to shoot the middle, able to get around Matt Taylor and Dustin Coggin. Now trying to work the inside of Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor will bounce it off the wall there off of turn number 2. Luckily does not collect anyone else, but man, that could have been bad there. Once again here, 3 wide race in action, as Delgado will get clear. He'll slide all the way up to the top side. So if Delgado can hang on to this, that'll put him into P number 5. And I think after the race the 31 machine had, he'll definitely take a 5th when it's all said and done. It looks like they're off of turn number 2. Matthew Taylor looks like will not quite get clear of Chris Taylor. As man, Chris Taylor almost in the wall once again. They're off of turn number 2, but yeah, some great racing right around the bottom half of the top 10 here with about now 20 laps to go. Continue to look at this battle here in the bottom half of the top 10 here. Christian Delgado here. Oh man, big time contact there as Brandon Guerin drives the 96 all the way up to the top side there. Not sure what led to that, but man, big time hit to the outside wall for Chris Taylor in that 69 machine. Frank Zinga gonna try and go around the top side. And now Chris Taylor gonna lean on the door of the 62 machine. Man, oh man. They make more contact there off of turn number 2. They somehow save the race car. They continue to door bang down the backstretch. What is going on out here? As Chris Taylor definitely not happy with something because he is racing super hard out here trying to hang on to any position that he can. But at this point, unless you really save those front tires here, folks, you are running that top lane and trying to defend that momentum and block as much as you can. Jeff Pogo once again kind of tried to take a move on the 21 machine. Wasn't quite there on the front stretch. We'll see if he does here down the back stretch as we keep an eye on this as, oh, more contact between the 69 and the 1. Chris Taylor comes across the track, hits an innocent number 7 of Eric Holly, and oh man, Chris Taylor almost goes up and over, all starting with contact with him and the 1 of Brandon Guerin a few laps ago, coming to a head right there. Jeff Barefoot also down on pit road, looks like out of fuel there, so that means these guys should be good to make it to the end. But man, drama going off at full steam here tonight at MIS. How will this end up? Eric Holly having to come down pit road. He has a meatball. Once again, here's that battle for second here between the 21 and the 97. Can Jeff Pogo get clear? Can Rob Lowe continue to hold him on off? This time by at the stripe, it will be 16 laps to go. With all that contact, Eli Raposa has made his way into the top 10. He runs 8th. Dustin Coggin back up in the top 10 and 9th. And how about this? Starting last on the field, Justin Branham sits 10th. So here in 3 and 4, Rob Lowell actually going to go to the bottom side here. That allowed Jeff Pogo to get the run and get to the outside. So, oh man, oh man. Here we go once again. Rob Lowe back up to the top side. Jeff Pogo down low. They will try and make this work here once again. We've seen this battle going on for the last 15 laps or so. Alrighty, Jeff Pogo has gotten into second. They're off at turn number 2. Rob Lowell into the wall there in the yellow 21 machine, so that will slow his momentum down just a little bit. But here comes the number 9 machine, Jeff Barefoot, trying to unlap himself here. He will try and maybe break things on up here as try and see what else happened. But It looks like, yeah, nothing else crazy happening out on track. So further back here in the pack, I thought I saw some smoke on the front stretch. Not sure if anything happened there, but we see now the battle for fifth. Christian Delgado, Matthew Taylor side by side on the racetrack. Delgado up top against the fence here. Matthew Taylor down low. Taylor's going to have the shorter distance through the corner. Delgado's going to have a little bit more of the momentum here. As we saw between the battle between Pogo and Lowell, it takes about 2 to 5 laps to fully complete a pass unless the other driver makes a big time mistake at some point during his lap. These guys continue side by side racing action, but with these guys side by side, it's allowing the 62 machine Frank Zigan to close on up. We ride on the roof of the 62 machine. And right there was the move there, folks. Matthew Taylor in the 8 machine from that inside lane, able to get clear from Christian Delgado. And look at this fall off, folks. 2 seconds. Their best lap is about a 38.9. Most drivers last time by just ran a 40.8. So, yeah, tires matter a lot here at MIS. And these guys, longest run of the race coming in here late, and these guys just trying to manage their stuff till the end, because this time by Matthew Taylor a little bit in the wall, but I was going to say for Johnny Barker, 2 open palms from the flag man. It is 10 laps to go for the field. Taylor did get a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4, but it looks like Delgado quite didn't have the run there off of turn number 4, so he will stay in line with the number 8. Both this whole group right here, these 3 cars of the 8, the 31, and the 62, all catching the 3 of Cody Meadows right in front of him. So if these guys all work together, they should be all able to pass Meadows before this race is over. Looks like the 69 machine, Chris Taylor, back out on the racetrack here. Justin Branham up into 9th. Looks like Dustin Coggin losing some speed at some point during this late stage of this run. He has fallen out of the top 10 into 11th. Brandon Guerin back up into the top 10 there with that contact with the 69. We'll keep an eye on that, see if anything comes from there. But here is the move for that 4th position. Like I said, if these guys work together, they should be able to get around Meadows. But looks like Delgado pushed Meadows into turn number 3. If I'm the 31 machine, I'm trying to work with the 8. I know it's going to be tough to get around it, but you got to work together, at least get those positions that you know you can get, and keep him in your sights in case he does make a mistake before this race is over. So Matthew Taylor here riding on board with turns 1 and 2. He will find himself in 4th position. Christian Delgado will claim 5th. Now it's Zingen trying to get around the 3 machine of Cody Meadows. Also further on back, Justin Branham under some heavy pressure from Dustin Coggins here. Eli Raposa under fire from Branham. As once again, here we go, battle for that 4th position. Christian Delgado gonna sail it in there deep, gonna be able to clear Matthew Taylor. Wow, what a move by the 31 machine. Taylor gonna cross him over here down the backstretch, but can he get clear himself here in 3 and 4? Delgado's gonna go up to the wall, build up as much momentum as he can. Right now, Taylor gonna be clear. He will slide on up. Delgado will probably try the crossover himself. As maybe not. Man, what a run off of turn number 4 by that number 8 car. Able to stay out in front even by the time they get into turn number 1. Further on back here, here is that battle between the 58 and 46. Both of them in the wall there off of turn number 2. Branham has caught Raposa, has not been able to quite get by him. It looks like the 58 trying to get to the high side here, but the 46 there keeping an eye on his mirror, making sure he makes no big mistake to allow the 58 up top if he can. I think here down the front stretch we'll see Raposa rip right against the fence here, make the only move for Branham to go down to that inside lane and back up back into the top 5 here. This battle for third continues to rage. Sorry, fourth continues to go on here as Delgado tries to make the move here on Taylor. Will do it there. Taylor will give him a shot in the back. That may have been enough for Delgado just to keep that car there blocking these runs. Keeping that car up on the top side might be good enough here. Cody Meadows must have had some sort of issue or something like that, because last time by Meadows way off the pace here by over half a second, now almost a second off, as that 3 car, those tires going away here, has fallen back to 9th and continues to lose pace here. As everyone here starting to spread on out, folks, this might be where we do it. Johnny Barker, though, getting caught ever so slightly the last couple laps by Jeff Pogo. Pogo in the draft here with 3 laps to go. Can Jeff Pogo do something before it's all said and done? And I tell you what, top 4 in points currently run in the top 4 here tonight. So that just goes to show how good we are here, how much these guys are worried about these last couple races. They are driving their hearts out, and here comes Jeff Pogo. If I'm Johnny Barker, I am blocking that top side as much as possible. Don't let that 97 up top, but here we go at the stripe. Popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go with a battle for our race lead. Pogo, Barker, gonna sail it into turn number 1 side by side. Off of turn number 2, Jeff Pogo will get clear. Wow, what a move. How did Jeff Pogo make that stick? If Pogo can somehow get away, drive away in this race, that was maybe one of the moves of the race, to somehow make that car stick on almost 50 lap old tires that low on the racetrack and make it work. But here we go. We are at the end of the race. White flag is out for Jeff Pogo. Can he upset here tonight and steal one away? He just has to make it through 2 more corners here. Barker is further on back. Looks like doesn't quite have the run. We will go back up to the front. Johnny Barker gets loose. He will somehow save it, but his chance for the win is over. Johnny Barker pushing that 6 car to the limit. But here off of turn number 4, Jeff Pogo will end up winning the race here tonight. And Pogo will now, I want to say, have, I got to double check here, folks, before I say anything. But this is now win number 5 of the season for Jeff Pogo. A little bit of cat and mouse game there at the end. Also a great finish there towards the back between Matthew Taylor, Justin Branham, and Frank Zingen. They all finished in, I want to say, almost a photo finish here. So we're going to go watch that at full speed here really quick while we can. But keep an eye on these 3 cars right here. A very close battle to the end for 5th, 6th, and 7th. You see Taylor there off of turn number 4. Get tight, get a piece of the wall. And then right there at the stripe, Branham just able to beat Zingen there at the line. But man, oh man, the man of the hour, Jeff Pogo here on the front stretch. Gonna burn it on down for win number 5 of the season. And that is gonna help his points and his thoughts a little bit there. You know he's going to be pumped up because he knew everyone put it out on the line here tonight. Had to drive through some harsh competitors, that being Rob Lowell, who finished third, and Johnny Barker. But when it's all said and done, man, this 97 machine able to head down to victory lane for the 5th time of the season. As with Jeff Pogo burning it on down here, we'll wait, make sure. Oh, he still has some more rubber in that 97 machine, so we will continue to let him burn it on down. As I bet you, I know this guy is pumped on up for this win here tonight. As he will bring it down to victory lane and park it on the infield here. So we will be right back after a quick commercial break, and we'll be talking with our top 3 in the post-race show. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here after a break.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Michigan International Speedway for race number 17, and we got a little here post-race show with the top 3. First driver we'll be talking to is the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. Rob, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you feeling after? That had to be a pretty long and hard-fought run there at the end. 50 laps on those tires. Looked like everyone was out there struggling. How are we feeling, man?
Yeah, I kind of screwed that last run up a little bit. We were just talking about Jeff and Johnny, and Johnny and I were talking about 20 to go. Actually, when I was battling Jeff there, I told him, I said, Jeff hung back for 10, 15 laps and let Cody push you and me out front here. I said, that's going to be the difference at the end, and it was. It was just so hard to get through traffic. I was in the back there early, and Johnny and I had a really we didn't need that last caution. We had taken tires that no one else did, and we were actually driving away from the field there. And the caution came out. We took our last set, and then we were petrified the caution would come out late because there was guys that had a set left in the pits. But I'll take a third. Johnny and I and Nick put a lot of time in this week on the sim, trying to figure this place out. And when I realized Johnny and I had pushed a little too hard early, keeping Cody behind us, I kind of sacrificed myself there and really fought Jeff really hard. I tried to, give him just one lane on the bottom, getting into 3. And normally I would have given up the spot and just tried to get him back by later, but I knew we had hurt our tires racing Cody and he hadn't. So, it's a team sport. So I drove him super hard and tried to get him to use his stuff up again by me, and he still had enough left to get by Johnny at the end.
Yeah, it was a close race. If this race 5 laps sooner, I think we would have had a different guy here with the checkered flag. But Rob, yeah, you mentioned it there. That yellow coming out on 58, so you did use that last set. Man, like you said, you had to be really worried there, especially some of that contact in the close racing we've seen all night long.
Yeah, I really thought all week, Johnny and Nick and I practiced fuel mileage here. We got it where we could go about 54 laps. We would run nose to tail, and like I would lead the pack for 18 laps, and then the next guy would move up, and I would drop to the tail of the 3-car draft, and then he'd lead 18 laps, and then the third guy would take over, and we could go 54 laps on a tank of gas because we really thought it'd be a one-stop track. I mean, this is the first time I think in 4 seasons we've come here and haven't had it green to checkers. So really unusual for our series to come here and have cautions. It's usually a fuel mileage race here, and that's what we practice all week. So yeah, I guess we adapted as the night went on, but not what we expected coming in here tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was an interesting race. And, Rob, like you said, you guys came here every season so far. So, this is the 5th time you visited. It's kind of interesting as well. No repeat winners yet so far in all 5 seasons, 5 different winners here at MIS.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like iRacing screwed this track up. This track the draft didn't play a huge part in it. It was tire wear. If you knew how to drive the track, and right now this has gotten where it's 90% draft. I mean, yeah, if you go more than 30 laps, it does, like you saw at the end here, tire does come into play, but it used to be after 15 laps tires came into play, and the draft was negligible here. So it used to be like a big old Atlanta, and now it's not. Now it's borderline super speedway almost until you get to 30 laps on the tires.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Atlanta switch, the old Atlanta tire saving where the new ones draft. And I said, it was almost like the Arrow Wars, especially on restarts. And like you said, the first 15 laps, everyone just fighting to keep that momentum, keep that draft. And that seemed to play, like you said, a huge factor, especially if we got a long run.
Yeah, and you had to worry about getting run over from behind because guys just overdrive the corner so hard and wash up into you, or the key here is that high arc in out of the gas, roll it down to the center, and then accelerate out. And it's hard to race the first 10-15 laps like that. You're on such defense, and you can see it. There's a handful of guys, I won't name names, but they're super fast the first 10-15 laps, and they drive from 12th to the top 5, and then it's like they throw a boat anchor out the back. And you see those guys every time we go on the track like this do that. And I hope as they go on they see that that doesn't work. You gotta play the long game. So we used to have Thursday night practices, Saturday night practice races, and we kind of hoped that guys would take part in that and would use it for the benefit, but they didn't, so we stopped it. But good racing. We'll go to was it St. Louis next week? Yeah, Worldwide Technology.
Yep.
I'm gonna miss next week's race probably. We have a dirt modified race up here in Plattsburgh, New York. It's 4:00 start time next week, so less it rains. And when we get rained out on Sunday, I will be missing St. Louis, which doesn't break my heart. I hate that place.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rob, after that tough Bristol race, I know we talked about it in previous weeks, but since then you've been on a streak of top 5s. Of course, continuing that here tonight. I mean, how does that help? You might be missing Gateway. It sounds like you're not a fan of that place, but then the rest of the season, having this momentum late, top 5 in points, How are we feeling as this thing starts to wrap on up?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, they're good tracks for me. Other than Gateway. And Gateway, I think I got top 10 there the one time we raced there or something. So it's not a horrible track for me. It's just not one that I look forward to. We got Vegas, Richmond, Phoenix. Looking forward to Phoenix and Richmond. Yeah, I'm just going for top threes, top fives, and the rest of the season, and we'll take a couple 2-3 week break, and then we'll get into the summer season. So it's gonna be a next gen series. We learned last year that's what everyone wants is next gen for the summer too. So the admins and I will start talking about what the summer season looks like here in the next week or so.
Awesome. Can't wait to see the schedule and see what tracks make an appearance on there here, Rob. Definitely excited for it. But you, my man, once again, congrats on the third place finish. Definitely impressive racing, especially like you said, you and Jeff putting on a clinic, something awesome to watch here. But before we let you go and celebrate this third place, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you here and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors on the car, those all important teammates, or maybe some people tuning into the broadcast here.
I want to thank Riptide Radio for sponsoring our Cup Series and the broadcast. I want to thank Steve Ritter and Leafguard for sponsoring the Pole Award that Matt Taylor won tonight. That was a heck of a lap he put down. I want to thank BG Graphics for sponsoring the Point Fund, and then our associate sponsors, Out of the Wood Crafts, DTL Customs. Who am I forgetting? I want to thank Turn 3 Racing Network, Roger finished up the Dirt Series this week. Had a great season 3 over there. We're going to have an all-star race, top 10 in points from the dirt and top 10 from the asphalt. We're trying to figure out when we can do that. We're going to run like 40 laps on dirt. And then those dirt guys that come over the asphalt run like 100 laps plus somewhere. So, and combined points to win the all-star of the 802 league. So, I got to thank Johnny and Nick. We put a couple hours this week during the week in, and then we put a solid hour in today. We actually ran a tire saving strategy, and for the first 54 laps, and then we went out and we ran hard for 51 laps, and figured out that tire saving did not help. You gave up too much on the front end. So those guys, without them, can't do that. I felt bad for Nick. Nick was just as fast as we were. We had that jumbo on the backstretch. I was going low. He cut down to miss the wreck, spun off my nose, and he had left his fast repair on a previous pit stop and had used it without realizing it. So, really, we had 3 fast cars this week. It's great to have Jeff Barefoot back in the race tonight. He's been enjoying life down in North Myrtle Beach and doing some other things, which is good for him. But it was great having him back in our Discord and back in the league tonight. And hey, rumor has it Dave Lamaga is coming back for Richmond for the throwback race. So it'll be good to have the guys back. Maybe we can get Ritter back and run the throwback race with us too.
There you go. That would be awesome to see. I definitely have that race scheduled with all those sweet paint schemes. But here for tonight, Rob, walking away with another podium, my man. So have yourself a great rest of the night. And once again, congrats on the third.
Thanks, Brett. Have a great night.
Alrighty, folks. That was our third place finisher in the GStone Motorsports 21 of Rob Lowell. Now we head up to our runner-up finisher here in the Valvoline number 6. It is Johnny Barker. Johnny, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, man. I know it's got to feel a little bit like a heartbreak, but man, what could you have done differently? But when we're walking away with here, a second place, can't hang your head at all about that finish.
Man, I'm so upset about this one. I should have. I told Rob, I was like, we shouldn't be running this hard at the beginning. I can't remember who it was that was behind Rob that was pushing us, but I knew we shouldn't have been going that hard. But trying to keep the lead, I just burnt my right front up.
Yeah, and it's so tough to do, like you mentioned, Johnny, to keep control of the race with the lead, but also not burn your stuff up, especially when other people are pushing. We saw Jeff Pogo saving. It's just so tough to do, especially at a track like this where, you know, people get such big runs behind you that, especially when you're the leader, you're probably looking more in the mirror than out in front of you.
Yeah, I definitely was. I definitely was doing that a lot tonight. Yeah, this one's gonna sting for a minute. Uh, but I knew once Jeff got around Rob, and I could kind of keep pace with him for a few laps, and then right front was gone. I'd missed a corner, and he'd take a chunk off, and once he got to me, I knew it was over. I didn't even try to put up a battle.
Yeah, we could tell your car definitely not handling it like you like. You know, almost dropped it out for turn number 2. I was like, man, just hang on to it. Bring her home in second, my man. You know, don't need anything crazy there on the white flag lap.
Yeah, and actually, I had the last lap. Pushed it a little hard, and when I got into the wall, actually, it got wheel damage. The wheel was about 5 o'clock. I didn't even know if I was gonna make it back, and then Rob come on and said we had a big gap back to fourth, so I limped it on back.
Yeah, and a wheel, you know, is supposed to be up at 12 o'clock. When it's at 5 o'clock, that's a big time hit to knock that toe way out of whack.
Yeah, it was it was terrible. I barely could hold on to it.
Yeah, well, luckily you did. You know, Johnny walking away with second. Points fight still really, really much alive. Now after tonight, 4 races: Gateway, Richmond, Phoenix, I believe one other track. Yeah, Las Vegas. How are we feeling about those places? And I mean, you've been on a tear. How do you continue this momentum?
I was just telling Jeff that if I run good next week, I'll be happy. Gateway is one of my worst tracks. I don't know if I ever run it. I'm sure I have, but I can't remember if I run it in the Cup car. I know I run a few truck races there, and I mean I was terrible. So I know I got a lot of practice to do this week, but once we get past Gateway, I feel pretty comfortable with the rest of the tracks. So if I can just get by Gateway somehow, I feel comfortable.
Yep, and like we see many of times, especially with this season-long points race, and you know, just no big mistakes. Be there at the end, especially if you're talking with me at the end of the race like you are tonight. You know, you're doing something right by the end of it.
Yeah, we put a lot of practice in this week, and really tonight was the first time, which I've run a different line that last run. I run a little higher than what I normally was running, especially in 1 and 2. I don't know, that probably got the tire hot, but the tires, you lost a lot of tread on them, you know, percentage wise, but the speed stayed up pretty good. But that last run, I think I just got it too hot.
Yeah, it's a so fine line to walk, like I mentioned before here, Johnny. But once again, man, great second place. 2 things I gotta ask. One, you have any more sets of tires in your pit stall? How much did that worry you if you didn't?
Oh, I was definitely worried. I was hoping and praying the caution wasn't going to come out, because I took a set early on, and then I don't know, probably about midway, I took another set, which I shouldn't have. My tires were still like, I think 92%, so kind of wasted them. So when we went back green, I was a nervous wreck. I said, if caution comes out with 20 to go or whatever, I'm like, I knew I had a bad night because I was completely out of tires.
Yeah, man, oh man. Luckily, that last caution never came out. Only 5 of them here tonight. Able to walk away with a second here, Johnny. So once again, congrats on the runner-up finish. I know you're not the most excited for it, but still a very, very impressive run there. Fought it to the very end. But before we let you go and celebrate P number 2 here, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank, whether that's sponsors on the car, some of those all-important teammates, or maybe some people tuning in at home.
Yeah, just like I always want to thank my teammates at Wolfpack Racing. We got some good practice in this week, so I want to thank them. They helped me out. Thank all the league sponsors for all they do, all the admins. They put on a good league here, so definitely want to thank them. thank you for the broadcast, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
I think so, man, Johnny, because one more fun fact to add for you. Last 3 weeks have been all in the top 3 finishes for you. Have been on the podium chatting with me for the past 3 weeks. Hopefully you can keep that in the Gateway, my man. If you can, it's going to be a tough order, and it's going to be a dogfight to the end.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you after some practice laps for sure, Johnny. So you have yourself a great rest of the night and week, and we'll see you next week at Gateway.
Thank you.
Alrighty, folks, that was our runner-up finisher, Johnny Barker in the number 6, but we'll head down now to Victory Lane to talk to the man of the hour. It is the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Jeff, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir, I got you.
Oh man, how are we feeling after tonight? Cautions to start the race, then the longest run of the night, second half. You have to be a little bit worn out there because it seemed like everyone was working it there for those 50.
Yeah, I wanted the long run though, man. I'm not good in these cars on a short run, so long runs where I can make speed.
Yeah, and that you did. You were able to save those tires. Then, I mean, an incredible battle between you and Rob was able to just have enough time to steal that win from Johnny Barker. How'd you manage it? Because I always tell people it's such a tough order to kind of save tires, to be disciplined, but then also reel them in and then manage it. I mean, you managed that thing perfectly to the finish. To take the lead with 2 laps to go like that.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be possible, honestly. Like when we went green on that last long run, I didn't know if it was going to be the last one, if we were going to have a late caution. But I kind of just let, I guess it was Cody Meadows, the 3. I kind of just let him go up there and kind of race Rob and Johnny and hope that they could kind of burn the tires up a little bit, racing each other. I was like, if it stays green, I'm just gonna reel them in. And then once it started playing out the way I wanted it, I got to Rob, and then me and Rob were racing door to door for, I couldn't even tell you how many laps. I just know I have a lot of 0x contacts with the 21, so that was fun. I knew he was holding me up. Didn't know if he was holding me up to try to keep me from getting to Johnny, or if he just wanted to race hard. Either way, I was fine with it. And then I knew I had the pace. If I could get around Rob and clear of him and him not get my draft back, I could try to run down Johnny. And I thought it was too late. Started doing the math. Figured I was about 2/10, sometimes 3/10 faster than Johnny a lap. And then I didn't know if, is Johnny saving? Is he going to try to pick up the pace whenever I start getting within a second of him? And then I just kept doing what I was doing, and I rolled the brake bias towards the rear to kind of just throw it into 3 and 4, use the brakes to help it turn, and then throttle off to help it turn. And I realized if I got to him, it was going to be around 2 to go. And these cars are so hard to pass, man. Getting to him is one thing. I didn't know if I was going to get around him or not. It was going to be hard. So it worked out. They made me work for it. It was a fun race.
Yeah, it definitely was a barn burner to watch there, especially that long run, like you said, in your wheelhouse for sure there with that saving, that strategy, all that. But man, that pass for the lead, you made it look easy, but I'm like, man, how did someone throw it that deep in there, make it stick on the bottom side with almost 50 lap old tires like that? That was impressive.
A lot of rear brake. That's how you do it. Just throw it in, use the trail brake to help it turn, and then it's kind of one of those 2-footed things. So you go in, you trail brake it, and then the way I was doing it was just matting it off. You kind of just stab it, let off a little bit. It'll upset the car and stab it again, and it helps it turn. I just looked at tire wear. I was cooking the rears. My left rear inside tire was like 40% at 360 something degrees. So
wow. Yeah, that is definitely cooking them. But isn't, Jeff, that a little risky? Because, these, especially here at Michigan, coming off of 2, you get tight, then you have too much wheel and it snaps around, or vice versa. That banking goes away, especially with the throttle. It is very tough to save these race cars, especially with the minimum side force the next gen has. So I am very impressed that you're that confident with these cars and can race them right on the edge. I like to say, it's like leaning back in a rocking chair and just going to that limit, right? And you did seem like you did that every single lap there to race down Barker like you did. Man, how do you balance the risk versus reward, let's say?
Well, honestly, like the past, I don't know if it was, where were we at last week? Last week we were at Homestead. But like the past, I think it was 2 weeks or whatever. I mean, Homestead with what, 2 to go, I think it was. I kind of did the same thing. I got loose and I overcorrected, smacked the wall. And then at Nashville, I did it while I was leading from Johnny. So, I mean, it's easy to do. I've done it before. It's just you got to be okay with being on that razor's edge. Sometimes you step over it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you just gotta, to be there, you gotta be accepting of the consequences. But here tonight, Jeff, a fantastic race by you. And I gotta say, two fun stats here. 5 times the 802 boys have visited Michigan. We've had 5 different winners now, with yourself being one of them, as well as this makes it your 5th win of the season.
That's pretty good. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can rack up some more.
Yeah, you're on a roll here. Last couple weeks, on the podiums, finally back into victory lane. 4 races left. You're the points leader. How we feel about the tracks, and what's the mentality like here as we get closer to the end?
I mean, it feels good still being a points leader. Kind of, I wouldn't really say opening it up a little bit because Barker finished second, Christian finished fourth. But, the rest of the tracks, I don't even. What do we got? We got Gateway.
Yep, then it's Richmond, Las Vegas, and then the season finale at Phoenix.
Well, the only one I like out of those 4 is Vegas, so this ought to be interesting.
Oh, man. Yeah. And I know, Gateway can be really difficult. Same with Richmond. So what's to expect? Some good practice laps by you? Maybe some race practice?
I'll definitely practice Richmond. Gateway, I'm not ever good there. I mean, I've never raced a next gen there. I've raced the Xfinity car and a truck, and I'm okay at best, like mid pack. So might need a little luck there. Richmond, I'll have to practice because I hate that place. I do not have good luck there. And then Phoenix, I do not like either. So
Oh,
it
man.
ought to be fun.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like some comforting words, though. The other 3 guys the other 2 guys, excuse me, I talked to tonight, both said they do not like Gateway as well. So Gateway might be the final, really, really wild card race of the season.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the point situation is. I'd have to look, but I think if I can put together a decent race next week, maybe get a top 5, I'd have to look at the points. But if I do that, then I can have some decent runs the other 3 races. I don't think I should be able to be beat, but you can't count these guys out, man. One slip, you're finishing 20 something, and I don't know. I guess I have a 40, 50 point lead, something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have 2 bad races in a row, and then those guys are right back in the hunt.
Yep. Yeah. Coming into tonight, 54-point advantage. But just like you said, Jeff, 2 really bad races, or even a string of them that finish all right, and these guys go out there, make it interesting. It definitely could be wild here by the end. But here tonight, race number 17 in the books, doing exactly what you needed to do, my man, parking it in victory lane.
Feels good. Like I said, let's try to keep it up. Couple more to try it.
Yep, couple more to go here, and hopefully I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here, Jeff. Once again, congrats on win number 5 of the season. But before we let you go, we got to go through the whole final routine, let's say, and give the mic over to you and thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, maybe some people tuning in at home, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to.
Oh, let's do some sponsors first off, because I don't usually do this. Let's do S-Works, Reds Racing Engines, RC Body Armor, Dialed RC Tires, stuff like that. Guys that all sponsor me, companies that sponsor me to race RC cars in real life. So that's pretty cool to have them on board. And then I got to just thank you for putting on a good broadcast every week, and Rob and the admins and stuff for putting on this league. Every week, racing seems to get more competitive. It's a shame it's coming down to the end and getting ready to end, but it's been a good season. So I'd like to keep it up. And I got to thank Rob for racing me clean there. You know, we were door to door, touching each other a bunch, and no homo. Going into the corners and you know, taking each other's lines, running each other high, pinching each other low. That's good racing you can't find very often on here. So it's fun to do that lap after lap.
Yeah, that it is. And like you said, the key with that lap after lap to do that, have each other on level heads, let's say, and do that awesome racing. It was a blast to watch in this broadcast, a good one. Also, from Rob Lowe, a little bit of teaser. Sounds like the summer season here of some next gen cars in the works here for the near future.
Might be interested in that. And then these guys all know when this is over here, the first week of May, we're going to be starting up a ARCA league. So that should be a good one too. That won't run through the 802. That'll run through our league. So it'll be a good time. We'll get some flyers made up and maybe a promo video sent out to practice races going, see if we can't get full fields.
Yeah, I tell you what, that looked definitely intriguing. I actually checking it out myself. You know, these new ARCA cars, definitely a blast to race. Hopefully they get the net code for sure 100% by then. But yeah, those ARCA cars are a blast, and definitely keeping an eye on that league. Maybe I have to, you know, dust off the sim wheel maybe in the future.
Well, we got you on the roster, so come on and let's have a good time.
All righty, we look forward to it. But here, my man Jeff, you're down in victory lane, 5th time this season. You have a great rest of your night, and thanks again for coming out here, putting on a great show like always, and you take care, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you once again in the near future.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
All righty, folks, that was Jeff Pogo burning it down after the race for the 5th time this season, picking up win number 5 here at race number 17 at MIS. So let's get things wrapping on up here. Let's head through the race results real quick. Then, of course, shout out the sponsors and then get people out of here at a decent time. So Jeff Pogo ended up winning here tonight over at last few lap pass over our 2nd place finisher, that being the 6 of Johnny Barker. Rob Lowell in the 21 machine rounds out the podium. Christian Delgado, after being involved in 2 different yellows, rebounds to 4th in the 31. A great rebound from him. Race of attrition for Delgado. Matthew Taylor in the 8th, first ever Leaf Guard Pole Award, backs it up with one of his career best finishes. He will finish in the top 5 and 5th. Justin Brannahan, a great finish for this guy as well. The 58 car will finish 6th. Frank Zingen in the 62 will finish 7th. Eli Raposa will finish 8th. 9th going to Cody Meadows in the 3. And Brandon Guerin in the number 1, able to finish in the top 10, will finish P10. Finishing 11th is Dustin Coggins in the 42. 12th going to John Buell. 13th, Ariba Caton. 14th, Jason Wiley. 15th, Dylan Jacobs. 16th, Dan Dill. 17th going to Cody Brewer. 18th is Jeff Barefoot. 19th is Stephen Holmes. 20th is Chris Taylor. 21st, Nick Larson. And Eric Holly will round out the finishing field here tonight in 22nd. So first and foremost, got to thank all the live viewers tuning on in here tonight, as well as the replay viewers. Got to give a big shout out to you guys spending our Sunday nights together. Really do appreciate it. Always love to see you guys tuning on in. Don't go anywhere, folks. Next 4 Sundays, you'll want to be here. We have the final 4 races of the season, of course, in 2 weeks. Throwback night, like I said, throwing back to 1 year of the actual Cup Series. I think it's early 2000s, going to run exact replica of those schemes at Richmond. That will definitely be really, really cool. Of course, got to shout out all the racers that come out here, put on the show for all of us to watch. And then, of course, we got to shout out some league sponsors. The big one being that center one in your screen, Riptide Radio. Some of the best beach and boogie music from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You can get that with that QR scanner. That will take you to the app. You can download that app, listen to Riptide Radio anywhere in the world, as well as that first link in the description. Also got to give a big shout out to Leaf Guard with the Pole Award. BG Graphix coming on board with the driver season pay. Out of the Woods Crafts, also associate sponsor, same with Stone and GStone Motorsports, as well as DTL Custom. So got to give a big shout out to those guys, as well as all the admins here with the 802 League that make this all happen. I've been Brett the Jet with Turn 3 Racing Network. With Turn 3, we are partnered with that logo you see in the bottom right. That is Premier Setup Shops. Be sure to check them out. Link in the description. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click would go a long way, generate that traffic, you know, show them supporting Turn 3 that we can do the same with them. So that would be very much appreciated. They also have some pretty good dirt setups, not going to lie. Now a driving academy as well, so some wild stuff coming out from there, of course. Other things like video editing, paint schemes, a lot of cool stuff from them. So yeah, also with Turn 3 throughout the week, a lot of great racing. I got to give a quick shout out to, you can watch myself cover a season finale. That is Wednesday night's ASRC Street Stock Series. Pretty good racing coming down to the wire. Tuesday night, late model stocks season finale as well, if you guys are available. As you know, 802 taking a break on those Tuesday nights with the dirt. Their season just wrapped on up. And yeah. Be sure to tune in, especially with that All-Star race. That sounds definitely really cool. So Rob hinted at that. Definitely would love to know more details about that. So as I almost died there, choking on my own saliva, we're going to go wrap it up here, get everyone out at a decent time. So everyone, take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and be sure to tune in 7 o'clock next Sunday for the race here at Gateway. Sounds like everyone's not too sure who's going to win that. It's going to be a wild one. You won't want to miss it. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.